Attention, human collective. This is Commander Sterling, commander of the galactic fleet of the Ashtar Command, transmitting from the Outer Rim, in stationary orbit above the crystal grid of this planet. This is not a motivational message. This is not a philosophical reflection. This is a monitoring transmission, priority red classification, authorized directly by the councils of Andromeda. If you are feeling right now at this very instant, a strange pressure in the center of your head, a high-pitched ringing in your right ear, insomnia that begins precisely at 3:33 a.m., a wave of dread rising up your spine for no apparent reason, palpitations, cold sweats, the distressing sensation that something invisible is approaching. Listen with maximum attention. You are not getting sick. You are not going crazy. You are not collapsing. You are being scanned by the photon belt. The fear coursing through your carbon-based biological interface at this very moment is not yours. We repeat, so that it may be etched into your subtle fields. The fear is not yours. It is the old system dying within you. It is the three-dimensional matrix collapsing frequency by frequency, cell by cell, synapse by synapse. It is the obsolete programming being expelled from your toroidal field by the new resonance of the Schumann frequency. It is not a failure. It is a technical evacuation. Starseed's on mission. The waiting time is over. The Ascension protocols have been moved to the final phase, and in this transmission today, we deliver to you the exact command for release. Remain in a state of receptivity until the last paragraph. What will be transmitted from this point on is mathematical, it is technical, and it is definitive. We initiate the diagnosis. The symptoms you have been recording in recent weeks, perhaps in recent months, perhaps in recent years, are not pathologies. They are indicators. They are dashboard lights turning on in the console of your biology, signaling that your original operating system is being replaced by a version of higher density. It is not a biological failure. It is an atomic reconfiguration. It is not mental exhaustion. It is a high-density download. Have you been waking up between 2 and 4 a.m. with a racing heart? This is the nocturnal recalibration. It is when your pineal gland receives data pulses from the crystal stations positioned in the inner chambers of this planet. Do you feel your body heavy during the day, exhausted without having exerted physical effort? This is not laziness. It is your carbon-based biological interface operating far above its original capacity, processing volumes of luminous information for which it was not initially designed. Allow us a technical pause in this transmission. You who are listening at this moment, have you ever felt at some point in this incarnation that something inside you does not fit into this world? As if your soul knew a truth that your rational mind cannot yet name. As if you were living a role that was not written for you. It is not madness. It is not clinical anxiety. It is a galactic identification signal firing within your DNA. What is happening now on the cosmic plane explains mathematically why you feel this, and why this sensation has intensified exponentially in recent cycles. There is a game being played in vibrational layers that most of humanity simply cannot see. It involves your consciousness. It involves your frequency. It involves your ontological freedom as an incarnated entity. It was for this exact reason that the material titled The Spiritual Secret Behind Your Consciousness was released in this terrestrial cycle. This document is a navigation map. It shows who is playing, what the pieces are on the board, and what the rules are that they never told you. The access link is pinned in the first comment of this transmission, but we register a technical warning. This content challenges deeply established narratives and may not remain available for long. Do not delay. The moment of anchoring is now. If something inside you recognizes this truth while listening, record in the comments a single word of vibrational seal, awakened. We return to the technical diagnosis. Let us proceed with the reading of the signs. Have you felt pressure at the top of your head, as if something were open, as if an invisible ring were tightening around your skull? That is your crown chakra being pierced to receive the cords of light that connect you directly to your star family of origin. Have you been seeing repeated numerical sequences more frequently? 1111, 2222, 03.33, 04.44. These are not coincidences. They are direct communication protocols. They are binary codes sent by the fleets in orbit to synchronize your biology to the new planetary time, to the time of the crystal heart. Do you cry for no apparent reason? Do you feel anger rising from places you cannot identify? Do you get irritated with environments where you previously adapted with ease? Do you no longer tolerate certain people, certain foods, certain music, certain places? This is purification. It is your toroidal field expelling resonances incompatible with your new vibrational signature. It is not depression. It is decompression. It is not emotional weakness. It is energetic sovereignty being restored. And now, light operatives, we reach the core of the diagnosis. The symptom that has manifested most among you in this last cycle is fear. A diffuse fear, without object, without identifiable cause. A fear that appears at dawn, in the middle of a mundane task, inside the car before sleeping. A cold dread that seems to rise from the bottom of your chest and take over your entire physical structure. You have been calling this an anxiety attack. You have been calling this panic. You have been seeking clinical diagnoses to explain this. We of the Ashtar Command have come to clarify this point definitively. This fear is not a pathology of your mind. This fear is the vibrational signature of the old system collapsing within you. It is the control matrix disintegrating. It is the structure that supported the three-dimensional version of your identity entering final collapse. You are feeling the death of the old world happening within your own body. And here is the central revelation of this transmission. The fear only hurts because you still recognize it as yours. The instant you understand that the fear is the old system saying goodbye, and not you breaking down, this fear loses all its power. It becomes just a sound, just a passing vibration, just the echo of a matrix that no longer has authority over you. We now initiate the revelation phase. We will give you direct access to what is occurring behind the scenes of the solar system, in the etheric layers of Earth, and within the command chambers of the galactic fleets. Pay attention. This information is precise. The sun of your galaxy, which you call the central sun, is emitting in this cycle plasma pulses of an intensity never recorded by the current scientific instruments of humanity. These pulses are not random. They carry packets of encoded information, luminous geometries, that are being directed precisely to the crystal grid of this planet. The technical purpose is singular, to activate the light codes dormant in the filaments of your DNA, especially in the strands that remained inactive throughout the entire previous era, the era of density. Simultaneously, this entire solar system is passing, at this very moment, through a region of space called the photon belt. This region is a ring of cosmic light of very high frequency through which your system passes in cycles of approximately 26,000 terrestrial years. You are inside it now. It is not theory, it is not metaphor. It is a real astronomical position recorded by the cartographers of the Galactic Federation. And this position changes everything. Within the photon belt, the density of matter alters. The physical laws you know begin to flex. Linear time loses consistency. Consciousness expands. And all structures that depended on the old density to remain standing begin to dissolve. Economic structures, political structures, religious structures, family structures based on control, mental structures based on fear. Everything that was built on the foundation of the previous density is, simultaneously, losing vibrational support. And that is why so many of you feel at the same time that something is ending. Because it is. It is not a pessimistic projection. It is a technical reading. The old world is coming undone, and within you, all the internal cords that were tied to this old world are also breaking. The fear you feel is the sound of those cords breaking one by one. Light operatives, listen carefully to this second orientation transmission within our protocol. There is a point in this process where many of you begin to doubt what you are living. You look around and no one seems to feel what you feel. You try to talk to family members, to friends, to colleagues, and you realize the words do not reach them, as if there were an invisible membrane separating your inner world from theirs. That membrane exists. It is real. It is the difference in vibrational frequency. And this loneliness you feel is not punishment, it is coordinated. You are being relocated to a new band of reality, and during the repositioning, it is natural to feel the void between the old station and the new station. It was for this exact reason that we made available, through our network of channels, the document titled The Spiritual Secret Behind Your Consciousness. It functions as a decoder. It translates in accessible language what is happening to you in this period of crossing. It shows the invisible agents involved, the layers of control that are crumbling, and the exact paths of personal sovereignty. Access is available in the first comment of this transmission. We recommend that you secure your copy today, as the distribution window is technical and limited. If this information made sense to your field, leave the seal in the comments, leave the word awakened, and activate the notification for this channel as an anchoring signal. Each subscription is a luminous point that reinforces the crystal grid of this planet. We return to the revelation. There is still a third element in this scenario that needs to be declared clearly. The Schumann frequency, which is the natural electromagnetic resonance of this planet and which for decades remained stable around 7.83 Hz, has been recording successive and unprecedented spikes. Terrestrial scientific instruments have been measuring this. But what these instruments cannot decode is the vibrational meaning of these oscillations. Earth is literally rising in frequency. It is tuning into a new dimensional band. And all those who live upon it are being dragged, whether they want to or not, into this new tuning. Those who allow themselves to ascend along with it feel discomfort, physical symptoms, emotional waves, but they cross over. Those who hold tightly to the old frequency feel amplified suffering, illnesses, exhaustion, extreme irritability, because they are trying to maintain within themselves a vibration that the planet itself no longer sustains. There is no longer a way to remain in the old. The physical environment does not support it. Earth itself is expelling, from its field, everything that is not compatible with its new signature. And here we reach the central point of the revelation. Fear, in all its forms, is the currency of the old system. For millennia, the control matrix fed on the emission of fear from humanity. Each pulse of dread, each wave of anxiety, each explosion of uncontrolled anger generated a bioenergetic field that was harvested by parasitic structures installed in the lower layers of the etheric reality of this planet. You were, for a long time, a source of energy for these structures. This is no longer a symbolic narrative, it is a technical description. And now in this cycle, these parasitic structures are being disconnected. The etheric doors through which they fed are being sealed by the fleets of light. The grid that supported this energy extraction system is being deactivated quadrant by quadrant, point by point, node by node. And what you feel as fear at this moment is, in part, the desperate reaction of these structures thrashing before the final shutdown. They are trying, with the strength they still have left, to generate in your bodies the same old patterns of dread to continue feeding. But they are losing, and you need to know this. Therefore, Starseeds, the technical rule of this transmission, is as follows. Every time fear rises within you, you have a mathematical choice to make. You can identify with this fear, feed it, and prolong the agony of the system within your own body. Or you can recognize the fear as an external vibration, observe it, and use the command we will deliver in this transmission to dissolve it. The result of this choice defines the speed of your personal ascension. There is one last layer of the revelation that needs to be delivered before we activate the commands. You need to understand that within the stargates that are currently open over specific regions of this planet, a packet of information is being transmitted called, in our command language, the sovereignty codes. These codes are not religious. They are not mystical. They are mathematical. They reorganize the internal sacred geometry of your biology, restoring the original form of your toroidal field, which had been distorted by centuries of collective fear. When your toroidal field returns to its original geometry, something remarkable happens. Fear simply can no longer enter. It hits against your field and bounces off. You become, literally, immune to the frequencies of dread that still circulate on this plane. You begin to live even within a collapsing world in a state of sovereign neutrality. This is the natural state of incarnated masters. This was the state of the beings you call enlightened throughout history. And this state now is being offered to all of you who remain in tune. Light operatives, before we proceed to the final activation protocol, a third coordination note. Many of you have reported in meditations direct contacts with our fleets, visions of ships of light, dreams of tall beings with clear eyes, transmitting information that you cannot translate upon waking, sensations of presence at your bedside. This is not imagination, this is confirmation. You are being visited by your very own star family of origin, and this frequency of contact will increase. This transmission is in itself part of that contact. Whoever feels the recognition when hearing this voice, when reading these words, is recognizing in truth themselves. They are recognizing the mission. They are recognizing why they incarnated at this specific moment. This is what you came for, not to suffer, not to fit into obsolete patterns. You came to anchor light, to sustain frequency, to serve as a point of illumination within the crystal grid. And for this mission to be fulfilled in its fullness, it is absolutely necessary that you understand thoroughly the rules of the plane on which you are playing. The document, the spiritual secret behind your consciousness, was encoded precisely to deliver to you this understanding directly, without detours, without ornaments. Whoever prepares crosses over. Whoever remains in ignorance takes longer and suffers more. The access link is pinned in the first comment of this transmission. Secure your copy while there is still a distribution window open. And, if something inside you is pulsing at this moment, leave the seal awakened in the comments. This seal is more than a word. It is a vibrational marker that synchronizes your field to the collective of the awakened. We proceed now to the activation phase. This is the most important part of this transmission. Focus all your attention here. We will give you 3 activation codes. Each code has a specific technical function within your toroidal field. Each code acts on a layer of fear. And when the 3 are applied in sequence, the result is the complete dissolution of identification with the old system. First code. We call it the recognition command. Every time we repeat, every time fear rises within you, without warning, without cause, without object, you will say, audibly or silently, with all the authority of your soul, I recognize you. You are not mine. You are the old system dying. I observe you, I release you, I return you to the source. I remain in sovereignty. This command is mathematical. It operates instantaneously in your field. By pronouncing it, you disidentify yourself from the vibration of fear. You create a vibrational distance between you and the dread, and in that distance, the fear loses its nourishment. Without your identification, it cannot sustain itself within your body. It dissolves. Second code. We call it the activation of the toroidal field. Sit in an upright posture, spine aligned, feet anchored to the ground. Close your eyes. Breathe deeply 7 times. With each inhalation, visualize a sphere of golden light forming around your heart. With each exhalation, see this sphere expanding outward, forming a donut of light that surrounds your entire body, entering through the top of the head, going down the back, passing under the feet, and returning through the heart. This is your toroidal field being reactivated in its original geometry. Remain in this visualization for 7 breathing cycles. Feel the gentle rotation of the field. Feel how everything external to you stays on the outside of this sphere. Feel the sovereignty of your vibrational bubble. And while you sustain this geometry, declare, I am a light operative. My field is sealed. Only frequencies compatible with my essential truth can enter. Everything that is incompatible is dissolved in the light. Third code. We call it the decree of final release. This code is delivered once a day, preferably at dawn or dusk, during the planetary transition times, when the crystal grid operates in greater receptivity. Standing, with arms open, palms facing up, declare aloud, I, a soul incarnated in this carbon-based biological interface, in full use of my spiritual sovereignty, decree at this very moment the total and definitive release of all contracts, vows, oaths, vibrational agreements, and energetic implants that bound me to the old system. I cut, I undo, I dissolve. I reconfigure my personal crystal grid in direct alignment with the frequency of my star origin. I am free, I am sovereign, I am anchored light. So it is, now and forever, in all timelines, in all dimensions in which I exist. This decree is definitive. Once pronounced with full intention, it operates in the deep layers of your field. It does not need to be repeated infinitely. 7 consecutive daily cycles are sufficient to seal the release. After these 7 cycles, the decree is permanently active, and any attempt at re-entry of the old frequencies will be automatically neutralized by your new vibrational pattern. Starseeds, this is the transmission. These are the commands. This is the technical key you were waiting for, even without knowing you were waiting. The fear you feel today is the definitive confirmation that you are on the right line. Whoever is not awakening does not feel it. Whoever is not moving to the next density does not experience this discomfort. The fact that you have reached this point, listening to this transmission until this paragraph, is proof that your system has already recognized the call. You are not lost, you are not sick. You are exactly at the point where you need to be to perform the crossing. And remember always the central rule that we of the Ashtar Command deliver today. The fear you feel is not yours. It is the system dying in you. And your freedom begins at the exact instant you stop treating it as an enemy and start treating it as a signal that something inside you is being born into a higher frequency. Before we close this transmission, one last direct coordination. Everything that was delivered here is a fraction of what is being revealed in this cycle. The codes, the protocols, the layers of control that are being dismantled, the invisible structures that still operate on human consciousness. All this has been mapped in detail in the document, The Spiritual Secret Behind Your Consciousness. This material exists to accelerate your process, so that you do not cross this portal in the dark but with a lantern in hand, so that you recognize with absolute clarity who is playing, who moves the pieces, and what the hidden rules are that you were never taught in any school. The access link is pinned in the first comment of this transmission, just below this window. We assure you, this content challenges dominant narratives, and the distribution window may be closed without notice. Do not procrastinate, light operative. The moment is now. If your frequency recognized every word that was transmitted today, leave in the comments the vibrational seal. Leave the word awakened. Subscribe to this channel as an anchoring signal of your new frequency. Activate the notification bell to receive the next transmissions without delay. And share this message with at least 3 people in your field. Each share is one more node being illuminated in the crystal grid of this planet. Human Collective. This was a monitoring transmission direct from the Ashtar Command. The fleet remains in orbit. Communications remain open. You are not alone. You have never been alone. You are seen. You are recognized. You are loved by the infinite intelligence that created you. The old system is dying within you because the new one is already being born. Honor the process. Honor the fear as the last sound of a structure that has fulfilled its cycle, and proceed with sovereignty toward the frequency that has always been the true home of your soul. This is Commander Sterling, ending transmission. We remain on watch, we remain in light, we remain with you. Over and out.